All right, let's get into it. I'm about to start it in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Strawhat Sitdown. This is numero tres, number 3. I think, yeah. Yep, number 3. We are out here with a double chapter review. A very good 2 chapters at that. I am here with the Straw Hat crew as per usual. We got my boy BlackHawk in the building. Feel me?
Ooh, what's good, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Gang. It is also BlackHawk's birthday, so I'm gonna need everybody to wish him a happy birthday in the chat, in the comments, all that good stuff. All right.
Hey, happy birthday, my guy.
Happy birthday.
Lit. All right, we got my boy Kite.
Here.
It's a great intro, bro. Good shit. Yo.
You know, me and my man a few words.
I respect it. We got my boy Mr. G in the building. What's good, bro?
Yep, what's good, everybody?
Gang. My boy Straw Hat Mod.
What's good?
Yo. And my boy Y-Huss in the building.
What y'all saying, yo?
Hey. Alrighty. So today we're gonna have 2 chapters. This is for you guys to, for us to break down, for you guys to listen to. We're gonna start with the first one. I'm gonna just run through it really quick bullet points, and then we're gonna break it down a little bit. Then we'll move to the second one. Same formula, and then after we get through both chapters, because we didn't get to do our episode during the release of episode 1000 for the anime, we're gonna celebrate that in our own style. You know what I mean? We're gonna go through everybody in this call's favorite One Piece moment in the anime. All right, so we'll go over that to celebrate 1000 episodes of this great piece of work that Eiichiro Oda has blessed us with for these many years. All right.
Sounds good.
Just like that. All right, we getting right into it, baby, because we got a lot of stuff to get through. We're gonna start with chapter 1032. One is called Odin's Beloved Blade. Real cool chapter, and with the chapter that came after the one that we got a few days ago, it gives a lot of context to the things that happened towards the end of this chapter. But basically, in this one, we see Robin and Brook once again. They're running from the CPO agents. They end up running into Yamato, Apu, Drake, and Fuga. They end up bouncing off of Fuga's head, but yeah. They end up crossing paths with all of them. And following them is the Flame Monster, which just destroys everything in the area. Makes it a lot harder to move. Robin and Brook keep it pushing. CPO ends up getting caught up by Apu and Drake. And we end up seeing, looks like there's going to be a skirmish between those two. While Yamato goes and takes Fuga to try and stop the Fire Monster from destroying the whole damn castle. So a lot going on in that area. Elsewhere, we had Zoro continuing his fight with King, not being able to get any hits in, any injuries in, and he actually then starts to lose his battle with Enma. He starts raining his hockey, and then he starts hearing a shamisen playing. I believe that's a Japanese instrument. I've never heard of a shamisen before.
I haven't either.
Okay.
I think it's like the little guitar thing that Hiyori
okay.
had in the beginning.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. So Zoro hears the shamisen as he's being drained, and Orochi hears it as well. Orochi hears it. He hears it closer to him. He walks into the room where the sound is coming from, and he sees Hiyori dressed as Komurasaki playing the shamisen, and that's how the chapter ends. So really good chapter. We got some really good information. Yeah, how you guys feeling?
That was a really good chapter. It was these past 2 have been some of my favorite in Wano. I've had I love some of the nice little character interactions in these past couple of chapters, especially when we get the little comedic moment of them bouncing off King's head toward the start of the chapter.
Yeah, it was cute. And then we also got Apu acting like TMZ and shit. Snapping pictures of CPO trying to make a bag off of Morgan and whatnot.
Yep.
It was definitely, it was funny.
Yo, he got rocked though. He got rocked.
He got his shit pieced in. CPO ain't no joke, man. I was looking forward to seeing a CPO versus Robin Brook fight, or Brook safeguarding Robin versus CPO. I was looking for something along that lines, but I didn't see this coming. But this is cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that will still happen.
You think so? You think Apu and Drake can't handle CPO?
No.
No.
Wow.
At this point, no. At this point, no.
Because if you just think about it, like CP0 agents are like just the way that they're like written or like their vibe is like a cut above the rest in terms of like the fact that even they're above CP9 in terms of like notoriety.
Well,
Is Rob Lucci even like the leader of CP0?
We don't.
Like,
We,
I
well,
don't know.
one thing Robin
so, like,
said.
that other.
One thing Robin said was that you know, the ones with the mask are a cut above the rest. I mean,
right.
maybe Lucci does have a mask and we haven't seen it, but
He does.
I mean,
He does. We talked about it in the last episode.
I remember talking about it.
Yeah, the mask,
One of
yeah.
so
he
but they
had it pulled up. So
yeah, but here's how I view it. I think that honestly, it's a toss-up whether they can or not, and the reason why I say it's more closer to a toss-up because if you look at it from a power scaling perspective, Jinbei was able to kind of solo
that's what I was gonna bring up.
yeah, he was able to deal with you know, who's who pretty easily, and then on top of that, who's who was said to be comparable to that of Rob Lucci, the Prodigy. Now, whether you take it as like he's like who's who is weaker than Rob Lucci or comparable or whatever, the point is he's at least very relative, like he's in the same ballpark. Whether he's actually better or not, that's another conversation. But if who's who is comparable to Rob Lucci, and we hold Rob Lucci to a high regard, and we say that he's the same status as the elite agents that are there now, then honestly, I don't think that it would be such a stretch that Drake and Apu can handle them, especially since Drake was also a Topi Robo just like who's who. So that's why I say it's a toss-up for me.
Yeah, I think also like, you know, Drake and Apu are supernovas, and like that still makes them captains of, you know, like, so like, and rivals in a sense. They're obviously not to Luffy and Zoro, they're not on that level, but like if they can't take them, I don't see how Robin or Brook, especially not, like those two could take them. I know they're stronger, and they're stronger than like at least the bottom three of the crew, but they're definitely, I don't think they're stronger than Drake and
Apu. That's a fair assumption to make. We saw that Apu has ornament hockey too, so
yeah,
we know they both.
Hockey.
Yeah, so we know they both have that.
Yeah, he was like giving Zoro and Luffy some trouble early on. I mean, I know Zoro like kind of one-tapped him later. But
I was about to say trouble. Zoro definitely pieced him up.
I just remember like I just remember being cheesed because Apu like knocked out Luffy, and I was like, what? How's this guy getting knocked out by this nigga? You know what I'm saying?
I view it as like, because I mean, everyone here plays Dragon Ball Fighters and fighting games and stuff, right? Or like somewhat, but I look at it as like, you know how in fighting games you could be better than someone, but you could still take a dub. Yeah. I mean, you could still take a loss, like whatever. Like I view it kind of like that. Like Apu got the better end of Luffy, but that doesn't mean that he's like weaker. I mean, that doesn't mean that Luffy's weaker than him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This matchup is cool. I think a lot. Like last thing I want to say is that it's the Shield versus the Shield, like X Drake, the Marines versus the CP0 or Sword, excuse me, versus CP0. That's like they started that with this like fight, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes.
Do y'all feel like? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. We're good.
Oh, okay. Well, so what do y'all think about the fact that like CP0 said like we know who your allegiance is? Do you think he's explicitly? Because I saw this debate.
It did say that. I remember that line.
Or is it like? Does he know that he's in Sword specifically, or does he just simply know he's a part of the Marines?
I think he knows he's a secret agent.
I think he knows he's Sword.
They probably know about Sword. There's no way CP0 with how connected they are.
What do you guys mean Sword? I might be bugging right now.
You know, I remember how X Drake called Kobe in the beginning of the raid, and he's like, yo, the CP0's on the island, and then Kobe mentioned that they're operatives of Sword. Like I didn't mention it, but in the panel they showed like Marine Sword member Kobe and then Marine Sword member X Drake. So they're under like some secret organization that people don't know about. They're like secret agents.
I didn't even realize that. That's crazy.
I think what Sword is, they're investigating internally too. Like that's what's going on. That's why it's so hush hush.
Oh, investigating within the government. Okay.
And the reason that like people think that is another thing is that so CP0 is called CP Aegis 0, AEGIS 0. And that means it's like a shield in like Greek mythology, some crazy legendary shield.
Okay.
And so if that's the shield of the world government, the Marines have sword, so they're like anti.
Yo, what?
Oh, that's what's
Yeah.
up, that's
Yeah.
what's up.
Oda! Oh my god, man.
Bro, Oda is the GOAT at this writing shit. I
That's
don't get it, bro.
crazy.
That ties with like some Marvel shit too, because you got Shield, and then there's that protects Earth, and then Sword protects outside of like
Word.
space.
So
That's sick.
that direct like comparisons there. So they're definitely an anti-government organization, and people think Garp is part of it. People think like Kiji is a secret agent doing his thing on Blackbeard's crew.
Damn, now I gotta.
That's what I meant. Like this is the start of that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the start of the Marines versus the government.
Damn,
Yeah,
bro.
and you checked out that Law video that we talked about last time with Law, the theory that Law is a secret member of Sword and stuff.
Ooh.
That it goes to a
Oh,
whole.
I actually didn't even see the video yet.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that goes
I
to a whole thing.
yeah.
Like Garp might be the leader of Sword
That would
secretly,
make
and
sense.
all that other stuff. What's his face?
Aokiji.
Not Akainu. Aokiji. Yeah. Aokiji is a member. All that other stuff. So.
I mean that would make sense. Like the government's like, all right, let's stage this big battle between our two admirals. One loses, he's gonna go like embarrassed and like do whatever he does, but in actuality he's going undercover and work with fucking Blackbeard. And then like, oh man, that's fucking.
Damn.
OP.
I got some YouTube posts to go down tonight. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's OP.
I learned something. I enjoy these sit downs, man, because I be learning stuff that I didn't even realize. Y'all be helping me see stuff. Like, I be thinking I pay attention, and then y'all say some shit. I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Do we finish the wrap for that chapter, or did we get to the end?
Did we talk about the fight a little bit?
Well,
Or I mean, it's up to you.
Like Callie, did you get to the end? I just want to know if we can talk about the ending.
of the chapter? No, I mean, it was just, I talked about, I summarized everything. We were talking about
so
CPO.
he's Hiyori, right? Okay, beautiful. Okay, yeah, so that ending was crazy, right? Like, that was wild.
Yeah, so what do y'all think about, the Zoro thing, we talk about that next chapter, but as far as Orochi finding...
My question is, who's surprised, though? You know what I'm saying?
No, not at all, because like, I always thought that Hiyori was there already when the 9 scabbards were in that room.
Yeah, someone
healed them. Yeah,
They were
had to have
crying.
been her. Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
they were
like-
literally crying. So like, who else would be that attached? You know what I'm saying? And also heal them.
So Hiyori, so we're assuming Hiyori is the person who was saved the samurai and whatnot.
Yeah.
No.
That's the most reasonable one. But it's the most boring one. Let's talk about the fact that it might be
I think Hiyori and Toki are definitely the two candidates for sure.
Some people said that this isn't Hiyori, this is actually Toki in disguise, and Toki was the one that saved the 9 scabbards. I heard that sentiment.
Niggas want to be Toki so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. The only reason I don't see Hiyori just sitting, she's been through all this shit, growing up by herself through years. She's not just gonna sit idly by. She is the daughter of Odin, you know, like, she's gonna do something.
And niggas forget Orochi was the one like torturing her for like how many years, bro? She had to be in his court the whole time. You know what I'm saying? It must have been hell, you know. So this is personal. She said she wanted to kill him herself. I remember when she was talking to Zoro.
Where was the last time we saw Hiyori?
When she gave it to Enma, right?
Yeah,
she gave
before
Enma
they
to
raided
Zoro.
Onigashima.
So this is before the raid even started. Was the last time we saw Hiyori?
Yeah, we didn't see her. We didn't see her since Act 3 started.
But we didn't even see her make it to the island or anything like that.
Nothing.
Nope.
Correct.
I want to say that's true.
Yeah, like I said, she's been living by herself, like doing her thing. Like, she could definitely sneak in easily.
Yeah.
And been waiting, biding her time. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, this is a very high chance that she's like that. This is Hiyori. I just like for the lulz wish it was Toki, because that would be a crazy twist. Like that would like mind blow me. But I do believe most likely this is Hiyori. So like.
Yeah, it would be crazy. I will say in the Viver cards or like the extra data books or whatever, I think Toki is confirmed dead, but that wouldn't be the first time they lied. They lied about Sabo for like
that was
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
But
they be lying to keep the story. That's terrible.
yeah, you can't trust them anymore.
You can't trust them, man.
Just like you can't trust Oda to kill people. That's all I'm saying.
You're
clearly it extends to the data book. Doesn't like killing people. But yeah, I'm like, I just think it's like Hiyori was like, yo, we've known her since the beginning of the arc. You know what I'm saying? It's personal. I think she wants to murk this guy.
Yeah.
I hope she does kill him.
Right. So that's what I was gonna. That's what I would be my next question.
The storyline for that has been set up.
Yeah. So y'all basically answered my next question, which was gonna be, what is her play here? But it's probably to kill this guy. Probably for enough. She doesn't know.
Orochi doesn't know her as Hiyori, right? Like,
No. He has no idea. Yeah.
But
She's been dressed up the whole time.
I do want to say that I feel like he knows that they're both alive, Momo and Hiyori. Yeah. If I remember, he was reading a report from like Conjuro, that piece of shit. He was saying like, oh, they're going to this porch, and Momonosuke and his sister is alive somewhere on the island, right? I think I remember him saying that. So I think he knows Hiyori's alive, but I don't know if he knows that. I don't think he know. I'm sure he does not know that Komurosaki is Hiyori.
Right. Right.
Surely he doesn't know that.
If she does like slice his head off, do we think that that's the end of Orochi right there? Or
no?
Hope it is. Fucking.
Because I feel like
one more
head. Anticlimactic for her to kill him just for him to come back again. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody's been technically killing Orochi and he's coming back. I guess like everybody gets their licks in that say that they wanted to kill him, and that's the point. But other than that, is there really any impact from her?
He has the Yamata no Orochi. It's like the Hydra, so you have to cut.
Yeah.
And I think
every head
the number
kill him.
and the number of heads he's gotten cut off means he has one more left. He got his head cut off by Kaido, and then the Skybird's cut like 5 or something like that. So people think like, oh, he has like one more life on some cat shit. You know what I'm saying?
Is either that or
that means if she did kill him, it would right here. It would be impactful then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
he
also,
dies.
I feel like she's been studying him like her whole life, so she probably like, I don't know, think of a way to cover that.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like,
some
like
poison
Fogging
type
is saying,
of shit. You know
yeah,
what
like
I mean?
Fogging is saying in the chat, like his heads could regrow. Like maybe she knows to stab him in the heart or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He
Because
definitely
she's
has
been with
had
him. She's
the
been
most,
with him the whole time, right?
Or she fucking pulls out like a fucking like move that Odin did and like just cuts all the heads at once, like, you know, some badass shit. Like,
That would be sick, but I doubt it. She's not a fighter.
yeah.
She's definitely not a fighter. She just be chilling. That'd be sick.
Yeah, crazy reveal. Really good chapter.
All right. We good on chapter 1032? Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah.
Oh, does. All right, so we know that actually. I'll just bring this up after the
After the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
But they kind of end. So.
Yeah, it's time to get down to business. This is what we here for.
All right, it's time,
no
boys.
bullshit.
All right, it's time. I know everybody in here was waiting for it. We gonna go to the.
Pull out your do rags. Put that bitch on.
Where's mine at, bro? Where's my dude at, bro?
Oh, I need to get me a do-rag just for that. Yeah,
Has to be done, bro.
Yeah.
For the Zoro, for the
Yeah.
Zoro, bro.
You have to.
Zoro, man.
One Piece's best character, by the way.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm looking around for mine. I'm down bad.
I don't
Gotta
know
hold
if I
that.
100% agree with it, but I'm not mad at anyone that feels like that. I completely get it.
Wait, about what?
1,000% get it.
What Kite just said. Zoro's One Piece's best
Piece's
character.
Oh,
He dies as the best
brother.
character, no cap.
Oh,
I'll
brother.
argue.
We'll save that for after
Zoro
the
fanboys
after
trying to
Oh,
review.
brother. All right, let me get
We're not
the
doing that.
review real quick, and then we can have a whole discussion on it. All right. So, chapter 1033, Shimotsuki Kozaburo. All right. Zoro, very Zoro focused chapter. We got some exposition, some background, all that good stuff. So, start out with Zoro attacking King, still having no effect on him, on any of his body or anything like that. We then cut to Sanji and Queen, where Queen makes the remark that King is a Lunarian, and that their race could survive in extremely harsh conditions, and were even called gods at a point. And refused to give any more information to Sanji, and they just continue to fight. We cut back to Zoro King. Zoro still kind of getting his ass beat, uses one of his most strongest attacks, does absolutely nothing to him, and ends up taking King's head to the face. He does his best Luffy impression and stretches back.
Yo, that is my favorite part of this whole chapter.
Yeah, nah, he's crazy. So Zoro takes the hit. destroys part of the island. Zoro begins to fall off. As he's falling, he catches his swords because he's trying to save his swords, prioritize them over his life. As he picks up each sword, he remembers where he got it from and gets some backstory on it. I'm gonna need some leeway here. I might need you guys' help because I might mess up some of these sword names and people's names. So Zoro remembers once he picks up what are the names of the swords? See, I'm messing up. Wado Ichimonji is the sword that Sado Kitetsu is the one he got from Kuina, right?
No.
That's Wado?
Okay, wait.
Ichimonji is what he got from Kuina, and Sadai Kitetsu is from the store owner.
Okay.
That's the one where he threw it up in the air.
Yeah. The first blade that he threw up in the air, put his arm out. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Kitetsu was made by the guy with the long nose that's on Wano.
Yeah.
His ancestors, I believe, not him exactly.
He says that is one of mine.
No. He said that was one of his.
Yeah.
He said he made that.
He made that one. Yeah.
My bad, gangster. My fault.
I thought he said. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
Yeah, Callie, keep going.
All right, yeah. So regardless, he picks him up, he gets the backstory on each one. He then starts to wonder because he realizes that Enma and the other one came from Wano. Bro, what was it called again? Jesus Christ.
Wado
Ichimonji. Thank you. He realized that Enma and Wado both came from Wano, and he tries to figure out how the sword from Wano ended up in East Blue. We then get a Zoro flashback, which we haven't gotten in a long time, where we get some new background information on Zoro and his village. We cut to Zoro fuming over getting smoked by Kuina and talking to this old man who has apparently been in the village the whole time. Old man gives him some swords and tells him about how swords are a part of the swordsman, and people that are afraid of the strongest swords call them cursed. We find out a little bit of backstory behind cursed swords. We also find out that this person was Kuina's grandfather, and then once Zoro further delves into his mind and refreshes these memories, he realizes that the person who he was talking to created Enma.
Yep.
Realizes this was Shimotsuki Kozabaru, who was the legendary blacksmith of Wano. Fled Wano 50 years prior to the discovery, to Zoro actually. 50 years prior to Zoro hitting Wano. He fled Wano and started his own village in the East Blue, where Zoro was raised. Once he makes this connection, he realizes what the old man was saying, and also what the shopsmith from the shopkeeper from Lugetown, thank you. Yeah. He realized what this old man and the shopkeep from Lugetown were saying about how he needs to become one with his sword, and how swords pick their swordsmen, etc., you know. Generic swords and stuff, yeah.
They also mentioned how the swords are alive.
Right. So as he starts making this realization, Beast Pirates try to attack him from behind. Zoro realizes he needs to constantly emit haki in order to master this sword. And once he realizes this, he activates conscious haki, his conqueror's haki, makes all the Beast Pirates fall. And at the end of the chapter, we see a 1v1 showdown between King and Zoro, 1v1 stare down, where Zoro promises to keep his promise to his captain and his best friend.
So good.
Beautiful. All right, go crazy. What y'all think, man?
Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to point out is because I think I saw Morge's breakdown of this chapter as well, and something that I resonate with, where Zoro first learned in Alabasta, there was only 2 times that Zoro had a flashback in the middle of a battle, and this resonates with that. In Alabasta, Zoro had a flashback because when he fought Mr. One was dominating him because he couldn't cut steel, and then he had to learn from Kuina's father that the breath of all things, cutting nothing, a blade that cuts nothing can cut everything. so you have to be more gentle with the sword and all that other stuff. Versus here, there's kind of an opposite approach where now you have to like reel it back and be like, okay, the Kuina's grandfather was like, swords are meant for cutting, like like swords are meant for killing,
right.
So you be more ferocious and all this other stuff, and it kind of plays into like how Enma is, because Emma's thirsty for hockey,
right?
And like it plays into that, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a lot of development in swordsmanship over the series, as far as the techniques and the things these swordsmen utilize to use the swords to their fullest potential. We've seen a lot of development and growth in Zoro's swordsmanship, because like you said, we went from being able to pristinely cut a leaf and show no cut mark to just going all out, letting all your haki through your swords and getting black lightning blades and shit, you know? So there's definitely been a lot of development. It's really sick. Yeah, good point for sure.
I also really love how that every time Zoro has Enma in his hand, like his arm is just shriveled, yo. Like,
yeah.
At one point when he was OD weak and falling, when he just grabbed it, it looked like his arm was a skeleton. Like that shit was crazy.
Yeah, it was sick. I think we're probably not going to see that anymore after this chapter, now that Zoro's figured out what it is that he has to do. Let's bring it back into the backstory for a little bit. I think I read the chapter and I was like, this is cool. Then I read it back and I was like, oh shit. Then I read it again and I was like, yo, this guy is a fucking genius. Goddamn Oda. I think one of the coolest things that I realized was the fact that Kuina wasn't just nice for no reason. It was literally because she's a descendant of Wano's samurai. She had the natural talent, which is why she was able to so easily just smoke everybody in the dojo. And I think just going back and giving backstory to that little detail, they could have easily just said she was mad strong, you know what I mean, and just left it at that. But just bringing it back full circle like that shit just really took me off my feet. Is mad sick.
Yeah, also, I think another thing is I think they even showed it in this chapter where Zoro says to Momo, like teaches him the word like Sunachi or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, and like ever since that point, it's like that was like a huge hint that, you know, Zoro had ties to Wano or whatever. And then someone had even asked Oda about it, and he said in the SBS at the end of one of the volumes, he talked about the lineage of the Shimotsuki. He talked about this one guy Kozaburo who left, and then he talked about Kuina's teacher who was his son and stuff like that. So we had those hints and whatever, and like some breakdowns, but like here he's just telling us like, yo, this guy is this person that made all these swords and stuff like that, and it just ties into Zoro, like learn it. So it's
sick realizing all the foreshadowing that's been leading up to this.
Also,
crazy to see this guy.
Real quick, the samurai from Thriller Bark was Shimosuke Ryuma. So I believe that's a descendant of them as well. So like that, like from like the
was it Shimosuke too?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
The next, Oda is the
He was actually the first Shimotsuki we met.
Yeah, and he's like from hundreds of years ago or whatever.
So I just wanted to bring that up because I thought about it yesterday and I was like, wait, that's the same fucking last name.
Wait, so did Zoro replace that blade with Enma?
Yes.
That's what happened. Remember, they took Shansui from him because they were like, oh, it's like because Ryuma was the
right, because there was Ryuma's sword and there was a sacred sword in Wano.
I think it was like MJ. He's like MJ.
It was stolen.
Yeah.
That was stolen by what's his face?
Right.
Gecko Moria.
Yeah, Gecko.
Right.
He grave robbed him.
Yeah.
Right. This story, man, that's so
crazy,
sick.
bro.
That's so sick, yo.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I have a question.
All right, what's up?
To me, when I read this chapter, like I just thought it, like I was like sure of it, but so like in that last panel where the third last panel where Zoro is looking at, I have two questions actually. And so firstly, he obviously used Conqueror's Haki when he knocks his guys out, right? He's like, yo, fuck it, let me just use all my Haki, and then suddenly he used Conqueror's Haki. Now I don't think that was conscious though, because King's like, whoa, that's kind of wild. So you've also got kingly ambitions according to the first translation. Yeah. And Zoro's like, huh? Just like when he used it versus Kaido.
He didn't even know what he was talking about.
What are you talking about? Like, yeah. So I don't think that was on purpose. But do you guys think he was doing it on purpose?
I don't think it was intentional.
I think it's still unconscious. I think it's still unconscious, just because when he said "huh," it made him remember his promise to Luffy, and Luffy, who is aspired to be a king, king of the pirates and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Huh, you know what? I guess you're right." Like, I think that's what he's referring to when he says that, not the fact that he knocked out people.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's like, so you got kingly ambitions, and he's like, huh? I don't really know what you mean. But what I think is important about the picture that Callie has up on his Discord stream right now is that Zoro's swords definitely have black lightning all over them. Yeah. And if we know anything about black lightning and haki, and people who have conqueror's haki, is that that's like a sign of advanced conqueror's haki, where you coat yourself with conquerors. So is Zoro part of that elite crew now? Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
He's shown it against Kaido already. I mean,
so the thing is, then I didn't know if it was, like, I was not sure, and I still don't know, because they didn't show like the lightning, and they didn't show like the legendary
But Kaido was the one that recognized it. Though.
Yeah, me and my buddy had a whole, but he didn't say it was like advanced or anything like that. And
it don't matter about it. It's just a glimpse of it. The fact that there's someone on the Straw Hat crew that has Conqueror's Haki too, aside from Luffy, is kind of OD.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, and I know that was the first time you used like Conquerors. The reason I'm not sure if it was advanced, and I had a legit I read the chapter with my buddy, and we had like a legitimately like a 45 to an hour debate about this, about why it was Conquerors versus advanced. And the reason I didn't think it was advanced, now it probably is, honestly. But the reason I didn't think it was because every time they show it, there's like the black lightning and there's like the gap, right? There's the gap when Roger and Whitebeard
when they clash,
in the flashback or whatever, and then immediately after this moment though. Luffy talks about it. Luffy tells Kaido, he's like, "Oh, I figured it out." Yeah. And then Kaido has a crazy reaction, starts laughing. He's like, "Only a select few can use it." And then suddenly, the first time Luffy uses it, black lightning, and there's the gap before he hits him. So I wasn't sure. I still am not. I really could see it going either way. I think either way, Oda kind of like, that was like a weird time to reveal that Zoro had Conqueror's Haki, because then it wasn't clear which one he used. But yeah, this one I think though is definitely the advanced. Like, this is it. This is definitely like he has it, which puts him in like a fucking group of like 5 people.
Yeah. I don't think in his head he's like, "Oh, I'm using Conqueror's Haki."
Without a doubt, I completely agree with you.
He's just like, I'm just gonna match what Enma's. I'm trying to match what Enma's giving me. Yeah, I need to level up to Enma's level. That's the whole test going on right now.
Okay.
And for Zoro to keep his promise to Luffy, he needs to have that kingly ambition, because Luffy wants to be king of the pirates. Zoro wants to be the best swordsman in the world. Like, he has to surpass those limits, and like Emma's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get you there, so you got to keep up." And that shit is OD, bro. Like,
crazy, bro, crazy.
And no, it also shows you how OD Odin is, and fucking Mihawk, because like Mihawk has a black sword too. So you telling me this dude has been siphoning like partial like King's Conqueror's Haki to his sword the whole time? Because I'm sure like his sword is OD powerful too. Yeah. And fucking Odin had 2 of those type of swords, the fucking heaven and hell. Like, what the fuck?
Though I think
Enma is the only one that siphons Haki. We don't know.
I was gonna say it's like a particular ability.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And we still don't know what exactly makes a black sword. Like, we don't know if it's like pouring Haki, like for like is it like a quantity thing, or is it like an overtime thing? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I remember before when I was watching the anime and Zoro made the connection between black swords, he made a remark about it, but he didn't finish his thought because something happened. He was like, "Wait a minute, this means black swords are," and then it just cut off. He had to do something happen. I forgot what it was.
Wow, I gotta see that.
Yeah, it was in the anime. I can't remember. I'll try and find it for you guys later. But he definitely blatantly made a remark about it, but didn't get to finish his thought.
That would be crazy.
You're right, Callie. I remember that. I don't remember what it was, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely something behind the black swords. We just gotta figure out what it is.
Crazy chapter.
I feel like it deals with pouring Haki and then like the intense battles. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like these swords have been through fucking hell too. Like, that's why they turned, because they've been fucking going through all those experiences.
I think. Oh wait, go ahead.
I was just sitting here thinking about it, and it just crossed my mind. This might be a reach completely. But do you think we get a moment where Sanji has one of these similar moments eventually?
What do you mean, like a Conqueror's Haki moment?
Yeah, exactly.
Is Sanji getting Conqueror's Haki? I actually don't. I like that question.
I'm only saying that because, look, the likelihood that we get 3 people on the same crew with Conqueror's Haki is the same.
Yeah, facts.
But the fact that this is the explanation we get, or not the whole explanation, but at least a portion of it, is that due to the kingly ambitions of Luffy, Zoro has kingly ambitions. Therefore, he also has his haki. But we're not. This is just what we know. Is it a possibility that Sanji has that exact same moment in a few chapters or later in the series?
If that's the case, if we're going by the kingly ambitions thing, then every single Straw Hat member is going to get Conqueror's haki at a point. They literally all have crazy ambitions.
Why I prefaced it with it being a
Strider Kiryu just managed to sell that in the chat.
He shoots one thing or one bullet or whatever. It hits the area and it has an explosive Conqueror's haki effect.
That'd be sick.
That would
crazy.
That'd be so fucking amazing.
Yeah, that would be wild.
That would be beautiful.
The only reason I would say why I think that the whole crew would have it is because of their kingly ambition to get Luffy to become king of the pirates. Like that is, everyone has their own set goals, but everyone's goal together is for Luffy to become king of the pirates.
Yeah.
So like I feel like it would be like that shonen moment where like I feel like for some reason I see it in my head like Luffy's like the Straw Hat standing in front, the fleet's all behind, and he just pumps up his Conqueror's haki, and you just see everyone like pump up their shit, dude, and get fucking OD.
Crew's own shit.
Yeah, dude. Some fucking like and then they're like Straw Hat fleet like roll out some crazy shit like that, Some Avengers, like.
Cool as hell.
Like, I can see it happening, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like, okay, so for me personally, and I see exactly what you're saying, as far as like everybody having like kingly ambitions to get Luffy Pirate King, but for me, I feel like there is a distinction between having like, because I think there are a lot of characters with strong wills but still won't get Conqueror's haki, because it's more like with Conqueror's haki, you have a kingly disposition, and that's more different than I feel like just simply having a strong will, which is still important. I think it's a step beyond that, because you could still have a strong will, but if you notice, for really the only two people on the Straw Hat crew that were like for the most part unwavering in dang near every single aspect is Luffy and Zoro. When Sanji went to Whole Cake. We all understand why Sanji went to Whole Cake, but the thing is that like Zoro viewed that as like, I mean, Zoro still viewed that like he was telling Luffy like just leave him or whatever. He's like affecting our cause or whatever. Like and Sanji was always like, because when he fought Luffy, he obviously cried afterwards. He was in pain and a lot of stuff. He went through a lot of like inner turmoil within himself. And I feel like those with kingly ambitions, they don't really go through that because they're so unwavering in their beliefs.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I follow what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree, but like
I only chose Sanji.
I see that, but I don't agree.
But if he does get Conqueror's Haki anyway, I'm not against that.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
yeah.
I only chose Sanji because he's part of the trio. So like that, I just felt like that would be the most obvious pick.
Yeah, I would be going ham. No lie, I'd be going ham.
Fun fact though,
I'm not gonna lie, I would prefer Usopp.
Jinbei has a higher bounty than Zoro and Sanji.
Yeah.
What's Jinbei's right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I got the poster right here. 400K.
Yeah.
Oh, that was big time actually. Shit.
Yeah, nah,
It's about to end though. I think Zoro's bounty's gonna be crazy.
After this, Zoro's is gonna be skyrocketing.
Yeah, Zoro was on the roof and he's gonna be king. Like it's gonna be ridiculous.
Do you think he's gonna reach 1 billion?
Yeah, I think he's hitting 1.5 at least.
What's Rayleigh?
We don't know, but I think Rayleigh is probably like 2 billion. To be honest.
You think 2?
Yeah, I think like 2.
I would argue honestly that Rayleigh is in the
like
ballpark
at least
of
2.
3.
I can see that. At least 2.
I say at least 3. Like
okay, I fuck with that.
Roger was what, 10?
Roger was 5.6.
Oh, 5.6. Okay,
Or
I say
5.5.
Yeah, it was 5.5.
It was 5.5. Yeah.
Yeah, because Whitebeard's was 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I say at least 3, just because I feel like from a power scaling perspective, I honestly feel like Rayleigh back in the day in his prime, he could have matched any Yonko division.
Yeah, I think he fight like almost anyone right now. I'm not gonna lie. He seems like a problem. He's fighting admirals at like 70. Like it's
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I guess we're on the topic of it. Like, you guys think Sanji's gonna hit 1 billion? I mean, he's gonna beat someone who has over 1 billion, right?
He's gonna if he beats Queen, right?
Yeah. If it's either 1 billion or like 900 million, something like around there.
Yeah, some high number. Yeah, and I think this is the arc where the Strawhats are definitely gonna come out as a Yonko crew, right?
Yeah, 100%. They're gonna be one of the most feared crews in the world at the end of this.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it. I was thinking about like if Big Mom and Kaido both lose this arc, then the Yonko's like it's not really gonna be a Yonko anymore. Like this is like there's only like 3 of them left now: Luffy, Shanks, and Blackbeard. And like Kid and Law, they don't seem to me like they don't have the crews to be a Yonko in my opinion. Even though they'll be like almost as strong as Luffy. I don't think it probably won't even. The system probably won't even exist anymore. But yeah, I feel like I can see like closer and closer like this arc is really coming to an end. Like
we're getting there slowly but surely. We getting there one chapter at a time.
Had their moment,
Right.
Big time chapter.
No break, right? No break next week?
No break, I don't think. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
No break next week, baby.
3 straight.
We living. Go to.
Bro, it's so good, man.
I feel like works hard, man.
Well, that Christmas break about to hurt.
Yeah, it is.
That's why.
Chapters don't come out towards the end of December. I hate it, man. It's so sad.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'd rather my man has a break. You know what I'm saying?
He deserves it. 100%. 100% deserves it.
We'll definitely think of some content for that time, though.
Yeah, we could definitely make something happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I guess there's like only 15 left. Episode 1000 came out, right, Callie?
Yes, sir. 1,000 episodes. I originally got into One Piece via the anime. I only went back and read the manga after the fact. But shout outs to the animators, the creators, the studio, etc., etc. 1,000 episodes of 1,000 of anything is a lot. Any type of content is a lot. So be able to produce that quality for 1,000 episodes, you gotta shout outs to One Piece, man.
And only getting
great
better.
Great work. And only getting better, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
they said.
Oh, my bad. I mean, my bad, bro. And
I was just saying. Go ahead.
In celebration of that, I want to just run through everybody's favorite moments in the anime. You know what I mean? Everybody, I'm sure we'll probably get 1 or 2 of the same, but I'm interested to see how you guys interpreted the anime journey as opposed to me or some of the people watching, right? Who wants to start off?
I can think of one right off the bat. To me, like the big difference that when you're reading a manga, and obviously I think we all agree that manga is the way to consume One Piece, just because like it's filler and the slow pacing of the anime, which isn't really Toei's fault right now, I think. But I think the big difference is that there's voices and there's music and there's visualization and there's animation.
Yes.
So I think appreciating that is important. And I'm not gonna lie, the moment that I rewatch a lot is probably like it's gonna say I don't think I've said this before, but the moment where Luffy approaches Sanji on Whole Cake, and it's like Sanji laces him out, and Luffy gives him a speech after, and he's like Sanji, make sure to come back. I'll be right here waiting for you. I'm not gonna eat anything but what you make. And he says, please come back. Without you, I can't be the Pirate King. Bro, Luffy's voice actor in that scene went stupid.
Damn,
not gonna lie, I can't watch it. I cannot watch it without shedding a thug tear. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. You just saying it and me thinking about it, I got chills, bro. I'm not even gonna front.
I'm getting chills right now, dude.
That shit hurts,
if
man.
you guys go back and after this, like go back and watch it, because the way Luffy's voice actor just like put so much emotion into it, bro. It is ridiculous, bro.
I'm gonna go back and watch that.
That's probably why I say my favorite anime moment is. I'm not gonna lie. I've been watching it like once a month, bro.
I respect that. I respect that. All right.
I'll go next.
Go ahead.
My favorite, is Robin's "I Want to Live." Like,
classic.
That shit, when she says just the Straw Hats all being there, standing up. Sugar King fucking shooting the fire at the government flag. Like Usopp, like they put that aside, like their beef aside at the time to save Robin, even though she betrayed them. Like that shit was fucking OD. And then that voice actor, when she hit that, I like thinking about it. I'm still like, I get mad emotional, bro, because that shit resonates OD and like.
Nah, it was huge, 100%.
Shit. Oh,
yeah,
God.
100%.
I'm gonna cry. Someone else go.
Yeah, One Piece, baby. No, it's definitely, without a doubt, like top 3 emotional moments in the series. Free. That it's definitely up there, and I wouldn't blame anybody for having that as their favorite moment in the series.
I actually drew it recently.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's kind of glitching.
It's kind of glitching. I kind of see it. Yeah, because of the background.
But yeah, we thought it a little bit. Looks good, man.
I'll send it in the chat. But
yeah, for sure.
That shit, like, oof. That shit gets me. And then another one. I mean, someone else go. I'll say another one after. So
right.
Someone else go.
Straw Hat.
There's 2 moments that hit me really hard, but I'm gonna just say 1, 2. Shoot. This one will probably be unique, so I'll probably say this one, and then afterwards I'll say just one more that we all, I think, will agree with. But this one in particular is super unique to me, just because of how it was animated and stuff like that. So in Marineford, when they brought the walls up and everybody was like dying because of they were getting slaughtered because of Akainu's magma. A meteor shower, and it melted the ice caps. The ice that was the flooring, the pudding that they had, and they were trying to get over the wall, and all hope was lost. And you see Jinbei launching Luffy over and hitting the ground, and the background of the 3 admirals sitting right there, lined up, and Luffy just like with his like, oh my god, like that moment was so high. I got up off my seat when I saw that. It was amazing. Like if you go back and watch it, the animations were clean. It was. The music was perfect, and you got all 3 admirals like, I admire your tenacity, but you're not ready for this stage yet. I was like, that's an OD. And then Luffy's just not caring. He took that log, and he like went. Oh my god!
OD, that's before we even knew about hockey or any of that shit.
That was like, oh my god! I will always go back and watch that. Like just that scene.
I'm about to watch it after this. I'm not gonna.
I respect that. Like, bro, I specifically remember.
It was perfect. Yeah. Like the music, like, oh my god! It was flawless. I thought that was flawless execution by the anime. I was like, God, I love this series.
Yeah, I specifically remember when I watched that part, like the animation changing up for that specific moment.
Yeah,
they definitely they made it a little bit cleaner than they normally do. Like they knew what was up.
Really clean. It looked really like detailed. You got Luffy looking at all three admirals. All three admirals are just menacingly right there, because we understand as the audience how tremendous that is. You are standing up to three admirals and you can't eat and you're not ready yet. What are you going to do? Like I was like, yo.
I feel it, bro. I feel it.
Like, it was just amazing. And Luffy just did not care. I just loved it. And everybody was in awe. I loved it. Like, that was one of my favorite moments, period. Like,
yeah, that's big time. That's big time.
I respect that. All right, BlackHawk. Go ahead, bro.
I gotta find the duo again.
Oh, it's another Zoro one.
Yeah.
It's Tom.
I gotta put it on. I gotta look deeply in the camera and tell y'all nothing happened.
Yes.
Fucking thing happened.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What moment, bro? What moment, bro?
What moment? What? It never happened.
What are
never happened.
Talking about nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Bro.
That's all I got to say.
Well, because me personally, Zoro's always been one of my favorite characters in the whole show. To me, Zoro obviously is like the cool, essentially meathead strong person of the team. But he also to me fills that capacity of what is essentially a role of like the somewhat wiser older brother in a fight, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So that's some shit to me an older brother would do. He would just walk up, be like, yo, all this pain is mine. Don't worry about none of this shit. Nothing happened. And that like is personal to me. It's one of those things that like obviously I'm not sitting here crying about Zoro telling, but man, that moment there was crazy.
I'm sitting there crying about it. Fuck you talking about? That shit was godlike. That shit was godlike. What the fuck? I'm out here cracking tears.
I just be like that right now.
I respect it. I gotta be 100% honest. I share the same moment, my brother. I think I was watching the anime. Honestly, because I was watching the anime and the moment where the moment in Along Park where Luffy gives his Hatsunami, etc. That was the moment that I got like I was like, okay, I like the story. This is it. I'm gonna finish the story. This is great. You know what I mean? But when Kuma pulls up on them and just waxes everybody. And just bro. Like, and it just looks like all hope is lost and everything is done. And he goes to pick up Luffy, and Zoro comes out of nowhere with
the one sword style. Yes, sir.
That's the same attack that he used on what's his name too.
On King.
That's crazy. Yeah. It just occurred to me. He said that's his strongest attack. Yeah. Yo, that's so sick. It just occurred to me, and it makes sense because. He couldn't even scratch Kuma before. Nobody could touch Kuma. But then he unleashed his strongest attack and managed to slice his shoulder open and see his robotics and shit. Damn, that's crazy. This story is great. No, but but when that moment happened, I think that was probably the first moment in the series where I really got up. I was screaming, yo! I was so hyped when that moment happened, man. And then everything just unfolded the way it did after that, and I was like, wow, this is great.
I rewatched it recently, and the anime did a really good job of like Sanji's looking for Zoro, like, yo, where is this guy? Like, where is this motherfucker? You know? And he runs up on him, and then Zoro like stutters. Like, that's something you can't capture in a manga sometimes. Like this, with the way they talk, but Zoro is like actually he can barely finish what the two words he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, his blood is dripping. Another thing you can't capture in manga, bro. Oh my goodness, bro.
100%. I'm glad that you brought that up too, because a lot of times people ask me whether or not they should read the manga or watch the anime, because I try to preach One Piece to everybody, and I always tell them the pros and cons and try and let them make the decision for themselves. But one thing I always try to stress is that you just can't get the same emotional impact from the manga. Not to say that you're not going to get the emotional impact, but you're not going to get it the same level as the anime because of the background music and the voice acting and the animation. You know what I mean? It's something that a lot of people take for granted when they watch the anime. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you brought that up. It makes these moments so much better, man.
Like just recently, last night, because my girl and I are trying to catch up to 1,000. We just saw when Roger laughs, like the when he laughs panel. Like that shit hit me when I read it, but that shit hit me even more fucking like hearing him and his crew laugh at that moment. Like that shit was beautiful.
And yo, they're demonic. They played the first ending song when that was happening. They wanted niggas to cry, bro.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then earlier in the episode, they like the manga. They're playing Bink Sake song.
Bink Sake the whole time, yeah. Bink Sake.
So they like the anime can play on that stuff, you know, like the vocals and the music and all that stuff in it. It absolutely, it's a point that I think Koopa Troop brought up was really sick. When Luffy punches the Celestial Dragon, I think one of you guys might have was going to bring that up.
Yeah, I was going to bring that as my second one.
I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah, you can
I love that moment. I love that moment.
It was crazy.
It was amazing. They changed the whole freaking the whole background and everything. Everything went white.
You know how hard you gotta hit somebody to punch the color out of it?
I was like, oh, like the one thing about One Piece, the anime does so well. I mean, you get this in the manga too, but the anime, what they do as far as like, they make you want to fight the villain in real life, in real time, alongside Luffy.
I hated that dude, bro. I hated that dude.
Like, I feel like if I was in that situation, I'd probably do the same thing. Like,
100%, 100%.
Like,
I don't know. You know what I love about that part of Sabaody was that earlier Zoro was gonna murk that nigga. But Jewelry Bonnie stopped him.
Yeah.
So like Luffy and Zoro on the same type of demon time.
Same type of time and always, bro. You even saw that when they first got to Wano, when they was just on straight demon time and just
they were fucking up Hawkins. Like,
yeah,
man.
Freaking Naruto said. I mean, he said it the best. He said, Zoro, the way how Zoro is, imagine like the fact that he's under someone.
Yeah.
He's calling you his captain. Like,
shit.
Like,
stuff,
it's so good. Oh my god.
And then Koopa said something also. Another moment when when the Minx said that Raizo was safe. That shit was crazy too.
That was cool. I like that. I like that.
Tortured. And they were being tortured and stuff for fucking days by Jack and stuff.
That was ridiculous.
And that moment was pretty sick. And you know, now that I think about it, because as far as arcs go, Zao, I wouldn't say is among my highest regarded.
But it's
if
important.
I'm being honest, it's definitely important. But like looking back on like favorite moment stuff, I wouldn't really think about it. But now that I think about it, I do remember being like, wow, that's actually OD when that shit happened.
Yeah, because
they lost fucking body parts, like they were fucking dying.
Oh
like,
yeah, they were. The thing about Zoe is that like it's like a mini arc, right? It's not like there's no conflict at the time.
Yeah.
Except for like when Jack pulls back up and Zunisha fucks him up. But
yeah,
the thing like there's no real conflict. It was more of like an info dump and a setup for Whole Cake and Wano, right? Like at the same time. And like there's some crazy moments where like they talk about the red poneglyphs. They talk about how Odin was on Roger's crew and and Whitebeard like. It was ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? There's one of my favorite movie moments too.
Momo wasn't fucking Kinemon's kid.
Yeah, yes, because like I think this is the thing about reading One Piece and being caught up is that you can't lose perspective on what the fuck was going on at the time. Like we were thinking for like 200 chapters plus that this is Kinemon's youth. Like we have to help them in some sort of way. We don't know exactly what. We don't know why the samurai are so wanted, and to the point where Jack would fuck up a whole country, And then that moment, like and the way the setup was that they didn't want the Minx to see Kinemon and Momo because, or Kinemon and Kanjuro because they're like, yo, if a samurai pulls up after what they just went through, they're gonna be like fucking cheesed at us, And they see them, and everyone's like, oh fuck, and then they just get to their knees and like, Raizo is good, my nigga. Bro, I lost my fucking mind. I remember reading that chapter, and I was in high school like 2 or 3 years ago. I was like, holy shit. I was in the middle of class losing my mind. My teacher's like, "Are you good, bro?" like no, bro. But Raizo is though.
But Raizo's good though.
That's actually funny. I was at work. And I was crying on my desk, yo.
And the teacher's like, "Wait, what?"
That's actually.
I think that arc is like honestly for what it was constrained in. I think is one. I'm not gonna lie, it was really good. I give it like a 9 out of 10. It was so good. Yeah.
Another good moment for that, and that was when fucking Luffy goes to Momo and was like, "Yo, you gotta ask me." Yeah, you gotta ask me.
That's one of my favorite Luffy moments.
Yes. Oh, dude, when he's like, you gotta ask me for help. Like, you know, you gotta do it for yourself, not have other people do it for you. Like that shit was huge.
Yeah, he said,
Huge.
he said, aren't you the leader of all these big men? Are you some sort of figurehead? Yo, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Zoe was crazy, bro. Stop it.
It was definitely a lot of exposition, and looking back on it, you recognize the importance. There was definitely a lot of moments, like you guys said, that you could really realize the immediate impact and be like, yo, this shit's crazy, what the fuck? And then as we get further along in the story, now being in Wano, you definitely recognize the importance of that arc and how much it meant for them to be there. For them
on
to
the
have been
low, they also foreshadowed that the samurai came from the past, because Momonosuke was talking about how he knew Gold Roger, and everyone was like, "Why the fuck are you lying, kid? He died 20 years ago." And he's like, "Yo, I'm not lying," you know. And then it was like a low key moment, but 100 chapters later, they're like, "Oh, by the way, there's time travel, my nigga." Like,
Oh
Yep.
shit! I didn't even realize that. That's crazy.
because I remember, because there was a YouTuber, Marco OPT. He doesn't really upload too much, but he has fire videos. He uploaded a theory that Kanjuro, or that there's time travel. This is in like 918, 917 chapter around. And then literally the next week, they revealed that there's time
They
travel. I
revealed
remember
it.
that. Like,
Yo, what a
I was
legend!
like, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like,
I
so,
know
that's
YouTube views went crazy after that video.
Yeah, that blew up. So
That's crazy.
that's to me like, you gotta remember how fucking like reading this weekly. It's like, man, it's actually a journey, bro.
Yeah, nah, 100%. Gotta love One Piece, man.
One more moment that I know like people didn't like this arc that much, Skypiea arc, but the moment Luffy punches Enel through the fucking
You know what?
the bell.
I was gonna say when Sanji said I needed a light. I thought you were going.
That too. That's a great moment. But for me though, like for some reason that arc just resonated. Like I was like just watching it for the first time. I was just crying the whole time. Like just the idea that this dude was living on an island, like, you know, everyone like fucking like exiling him and like saying he's crazy and shit like that. To finally hear the fucking bell that was promised to his ancestors, like, and then he just starts crying because of Luffy. What Luffy did?
Ridiculous.
Like, that shit was beautiful. Like I was like, oh man, like I don't know, man. That shit hits me, OD. I don't know why, but
Yeah, Sky.
Yeah, I agree. That's a very underrated moment, I think.
I think Skypiea as a whole is definitely one of the more underrated arcs. I will say that you actually just made me realize that one of my second favorite moments is definitely not Luffy punching the bell, but him just punching the shit out of Enel. Or just the first encounter with Enel, where he realizes his powers don't work. That zoom in on his face. I was on the floor crying, bro. Like actual tears, bro. Hilarious, man.
Yeah, his face was like, it was so perfect because the build up and like Eneru, he just thought he was just godly out here, just going through people. And when he come across one person, Luffy's just like about just like you're like, he's just like.
Yo, you did it pretty well.
Yeah, like, that was like, that face, like it was just too good. I try to mimic that face and everything. Like that was just hilarious. Like the most amount of salt on a guy has never been displayed more than Eneru right there. Like
100%.
Oh my
100%.
gosh.
Great moment.
Yeah,
Gotta love it, man.
I'm glad a few of those moments had Zoro in them, because today, like, these past chapters with Zoro has been crazy.
Everything just
You know what I'm
always
saying?
ties together, man. Gotta love One Piece, man.
Big time sit down, man. Cali, I think that's, take it away, bro.
It's lit. All right, guys. This has been Strawhat Sitdown episode 3. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We had a whole bunch of content we went through today. We should hopefully be back next week. Hopefully Sunday 1 p.m. We'll see what happens. We got a new chapter this week to review. Anybody got any last questions, comments, concerns?
Mister, you a clown for that one, bro.
Oh shit, I just realized. Hold on, I gotta zoom in.
I'm going the wrong way.
Yo, look at his face, bro. He got snot coming from his nose. Bro, you know how surprised you gotta be to have snot coming from your nose, bro?
Damn, my last got cut right there. That's pretty funny.
Oh
But,
no.
yeah,
You hate to see it.
He was perplexed.
Alright, yeah, cool.
The only thing I will say, because I don't think we talked a lot about Zoro, but I don't think we talked that much about King and how crazy he's been. Because I mean, I got to give props to King because
Yo, throw
man,
Mr.
he's
back in
given.
the chat, by the way. He's in general.
Is he in general? Okay, yeah, I got him.
My bad.
Because King has been like given the same vibes that Katakuri gave on Luffy, and in my opinion, that's pretty cool. Because there was a lot of people that's like, oh well, Zoro, he's going to kill, he's going to be the one to defeat Kaido. I think that this chapter, and I mean these chapters with Zoro and stuff should let you know. I mean, well, at least in my opinion, it lets me know that like I don't think he's going to be the one finishing Kaido. I think Ink was set up to be his main villain.
I agree.
And the fact that King was giving him so much work, because people thought that Zoro should be like on the same level as King early on before we found out about King's power, but this should like show that King was above Zoro.
Mm-hmm. I think they definitely established. Yeah, I think they definitely established that King is in a league of his own. There's a reason he's Kaido's second man. Yeah, I know a lot of people before that were speculating that, you know, King was just gonna smoke, or Zoro was gonna smoke King. It wasn't gonna be hard, and he would go on to help Kaido. But him struggling like this in the fight, and we know he's gonna overcome, but you realizing how much it's gonna take for him to overcome, I would not be surprised if this was his last fight in the arc.
Right. Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, so I think it's
yeah.
Respect. Looking forward to seeing one more. Hopefully we end that fight next chapter. I'm assuming we'll probably get into the midst of it, but we'll see what happens. You never know which way Oda's direction is with these chapters. But yeah, that's it. Thank everybody for tuning in to StrawHat Showdown. It was lit, and we'll see you next week. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Take it easy.
Guys.
Peace.
Later, guys.
That was lit. I appreciate it.